Hey guys, hope you're well. Jack Corsellis here. I'm going to be showing you breakout setups from chart patterns that repeat time and time again over the last 50 years. Now the chart patterns you're going to see are going to center around 4 key setups. That's going to be cup with handles, high tight flags and flags, Darvis boxes slash flat bases, and volatility contraction patterns with low, mid and high pivot breakouts. So I'm just going to show you an appendix. First, you can see the type of setups we are going to be looking at. So this here is a cup and handle pattern. So you can see the cup, the handle. This is a schematic. You can pause the video if you like, so you can look at this in more detail. Minimum base duration 4 weeks. Then there's a VCP, so we're going to be looking at low pivots, mid pivots, high pivot breakouts. Minimum base duration I'd like to see for that is 4 weeks. But I will knock a week off of that. We'll talk about that in a second. If it's a lower pivot breakout, a Darvis box minimum base duration for a higher base breakout would be 4 weeks. For me, you're going to see a lot of these. You're going to see a lot of flags, high tight flags as well. High tight flag minimum base duration for me is 3 weeks. You're then going to see some variations of the VCP cup and handles with lower pivots. So such as this one here as well. This is then a low pivot targeting it down there, and then you can have a mid pivot, but we may see some of the pivot points are slightly slanted. Now at every entry point, I'm then looking for what I call a trigger bar as well. So let's get into the charts, and you are just going to see these setups just occur time and time again. Okay, here we go. Let's start going through the chart. So the first one here is FPP in 2001, 2002, and you can see this big VCP base that is forming here. See how volatility contracts from left to right. What I want you guys to do as we're going through this video as well is just note where the setup is happening in relation to the key moving averages. Pay attention to how price is kind of setting up, the trigger bars that come through, how the volume dries up, the strength of the relative strength line as well. Clearly the base that actually sets up, whether it's a cup and handle, a VCP, a flag, a Darvis box, so on and so forth. Here you can see this VCP action again. Where are these trigger bars coming through? Then it's also worth paying attention to how the stock moved thereafter as well. This can then help you build out your sell rules. So what I want to do is, rather than focus on any specific stock spending a couple minutes, I'd rather show you lots and lots of setups in this video, just so you can see these patterns, these chart patterns just repeat time and time again. So same stock 2004, little kind of VCP cup and handle. See how it sets up on the 1021 EMA, look at the 52-week high, see how the volume dries up, and then see how well the stock trends afterwards. Change your character candlestick when you get this bearish synchronicity through the 10 EMA, and then bearish synchronicity through the 21 EMA over there as well. Nice VCP here, it's the same stock. So see, builds high lows from left to right, tightens up, 1021 EMA, see how the volume dries up, trigger bars come through, 52-week highs before the base, stock is a leader. FC, this is back in 92, 93. So again, it's the same patterns here. See how we start building high lows. Where do you notice price sets up in relation to the moving averages? 1021, 50 SMAs just there, trigger bars come through, see how well the stock gets out, pulls back down, shake out underneath the 50, tightens up here. And I've deliberately included the stocks which didn't just make massive moves to show how important the active risk mitigation is early on in the trade. Spoke about that in other videos. FC 93, 94. So see how it puts in this little kind of low pivot down here, 1021, 50 SMA. Over here builds this cup and handle type pattern, trigger bar, 1021 EMA. So the most important moving averages for you guys are going to be the 10 EMA, 21 EMA, and 50 SMA if you're trading more so the stronger, quicker stocks in the market. So you get a low pivot build in here, then it bounce off the 21 EMA, tightens up here, so it then puts in this cup and handle. See how the volume dries up. FC again. Powerful move here from the earnings, then it pulls back down. Look how tight the price gets here on the 10 EMA. Multiple tight candlesticks, volume drying up is just a sign that supply is being absorbed and very little supply is coming to market. Then you get another perfect trigger bar here on the 10 EMA, so stop loss will be placed just below that, and then you're riding it until you close below the 10 EMA and or the 21 EMA over here. Negative reaction to the earnings, opens on the high, gaps down. Increased volume, not a good sign. Change your character. FC 09, 2010. See how it builds this large VCP, then volatility starts contracting around these key moving averages. Look how the RS line is turning up into the breakout as well. FC again in 2012, cup and handle slash VCP. So this is the cup here, then we bounce, shake out demand tail onto the 50, then see how it gets tight on the 1021 EMA. Really important moving averages. FC again in 2013, so cup and handle. See how we pull back down here, shake out in here, bullish reversal, find support around the 50, bounces, then it starts tightening up, putting in these trigger bars around the 1021 EMA, bounces here, then it starts moving sideways. Look how the volume dries up, 52-week highs, the stock is a leader. FC again in 2021. So a couple of entry points here. You get this low pivot around the 1021 EMA, stock bounces, shake out demand tail onto the onto the 50, bounces, 1021 EMA tightens up, volume just dries up in there as well. 52-week highs, the stock is a leader. This one here, we're back in 1981, so again, it's just exactly the same chart patterns you are going to see. It is just supply and demand that you are trading. So you get some VCP type action here. Where is the stock setting up? 10 EMA, 21 EMA, perfect trigger bar, volume dries up, 52-week highs, stock's a leader. Get this cup and handle over here, so it pulls down, finds support on the 21 EMA, bounces, tight, volume dries up, 52-week highs, stock is a leader. Same stock, 1982, 83, just nothing has changed. So VCP action here, one contraction, two contraction, then look how tight it gets in here, look how tight it got in here as well. Again, even in here, there's enough room here to actively mitigate the risk. So if you're then stopped out on this pullback, you have free rolled the trade. Speak about active risk mitigation in other videos, and then it gets really tight in here, look how the volume just dries up. Loads of setups on this page in here. So here's a VCP, one contraction, two contraction, three contraction, building higher lows, little cup and handle, and you could target something around the lows of the handle. Look how the volume dries up over here, but a VCP action, shake out underneath the 200, higher low, and then look how tight it starts getting around the 10, 21 EMA. Then look how well the stock trends up here. Okay, they're the type of ones we really want to get involved in. Same stock, 1997. Look at the 52-week highs coming through. Look at the volume on the preceding rally to this base. Stock pulls into the 1021 EMA. Look how the volume dries up. Look at the tight candlestick, sets up in there, also sets up in here as well. Same stock, 1999, 2000. This is more of a BCP cup and handle type pattern. So this is the cup in here, starts building these high lows, gets really tight. Look how the volume dries up in there, and then the stock accelerates from around about $14 to just over $26. Same stock in 2000, so big cup and handle. This is a setup we were just looking at. So here's the cup, here's the handle. Look how volatility contracts over here, 10, 21, 50 SMA. Look like important moving averages, don't they? See how the volume dries up, 52-week highs beforehand, good volume before the base as well on this rally. Stock is a leader. Same stock, 03, 04. So this here is a VCP, see how it builds high lows, and contraction 1, contraction 2, contraction 3 starts setting up around 1021 EMA, volume dries up, gets out here, pulls back into the 10 EMA. See how the volume just dries up here. There's just no volume. This is just screaming there is no more supply which is coming to the market. Same stock, 2010, 2011, bit of VCP action, pulls back down, couple of shakeouts underneath the 50, and then look how volatility contracts in here around the 10, 21, and 50 SMA, just setup after setup. So 10 EMA, 21 EMA, and 50 SMA are going to be your most important moving averages, in my view. 52-week highs coming through here. Now the stock also builds a low pivot around this 10, 21 EMA. Look how tight the price action gets. Look how the volume dries up as well. Now it gets out enough for the stock to be mitigated in here, but then obviously it pulls back down. So I've deliberately included these stocks which kind of get out and then turn around to illustrate the importance of the active risk mitigation, which, as you guys know, if you followed my videos, I like utilizing by selling part of my position at a risk multiple and then trying to sit through for a bigger move. Now, not every stock is obviously going to make a bigger move. This one here, fgen, this is from an IPO base. Where do you see the stock starts setting up and getting really tight for this cup and handle type pattern? 10 EMA, 21 EMA, volume dries up, 52-week highs, stock is a leader. In here, FGen again, powers up on the earnings, pulls back down, gets really tight in here on the 10 EMA. See how the volume dries up, 52-week highs, stock's a leader, and then you get this really nice trend that unfolds, and then that there is your first close below the 21 EMA, so you're out before all of this terrible action. FIVN 2015, positive reaction to the earnings. Price pulls back down in here onto the 10 EMA, and then it sets up this kind of cup and handle, isn't it? Here's the cup, here's the handle. See how tight it gets on the 10 EMA? This is what you're looking for, these chart patterns, and then those tight candlesticks. They just signal that very little supply is coming to the market. In here, you get a bit of VCP action, trigger bar on the 10 EMA, again, enough for the risk to be mitigated. This is why it's important for me to show these stocks which kind of get out and then turn around to then illustrate the importance of active risk mitigation early on in a trade. Then you get this cup and handle type pattern. Setting up over here, change your character, you don't want to be out there. Fix in 1998, VCP action, so contraction 1, contraction 2, contraction 3, then you get these trigger bars, 10, 21, and 50 SMA, then you get this really nice trend playing out in here. Maybe there's an entry point in here as price gets really tight into the 10 EMA as well. Fix in 03, 04, so VCP action, contraction 1, contraction 2, really tight in here, 10, 21, EMA, 50 SMAs there, 52-week highs, the stock's a leader. Then look at this trend that then emerges, so it's important to understand the basing element, but then also what happens thereafter, so you can kind of then implement some sell rules around that as well. So let's go on to the next one, which is Fix in 2020. So kind of VCP cup and handle type action, pulls back down to the 200, bounces here, then it starts tightening up. Gets really tight over here around the 1021 EMA, then it breaks out, nice trend that unfolds. FL in 1975, so just nothing has changed. You get this kind of flag type pattern, so see how it powers up here, pulls back in, gets tight into the 10 EMA. See how the volume dries up in there. RS line was certainly turning up heading into that breakout. And then you get a really nice VCP over here. So contraction 1, finds supportive action around the 21 EMA, bounces, pulls back down, finds support around the 50 SMA. Then this is what we're really training our pattern recognition skills to. See all these tight candlesticks, look at price in relation to the moving averages, volume dries up there, RS line is strong. Nice, just nothing has changed. This is in 1975, 1976. So as VCP over here, see how price pulls down, bounces just above the 200, bounces high, low, trigger bar, trigger bar, trigger bar, volume dries up, really nice. Then a bit of VCP action here, shake out underneath the 21 EMA, bounces and it starts tightening up around the 10, 21 EMA. Look how the volume dries up, 52-week highs, stock is a leader. FL, this is in 1978, so there's a cup and handle with a very low pivot down here in terms of the handle. There's another cup and handle with a break of a downwards trend line here where price gets really tight, volume dries up. Then there's another cup and handle VCP where price starts to get very tight. And there they're a little bit more aggressive because the stock is kind of chopping around below some of the key moving averages, but the chart patterns are still there. This one here is much cleaner for FL, 1979. So again, it's just the same characteristics. It's supply and demand, it's accumulation, distribution, it's buying and selling. It's all it is. It's absolutely timeless. So in here you get flag type pattern / Davis box. Stock powers up, 52-week highs while the stock's in the base, volume dries up. You'll have to trust me on that one. I appreciate it's a little bit hard to see, but see how you get these tight candlesticks in here, sets up where? 10 EMA, nice, right? Then we get a VCP with a low pivot. So we pull down, we bounce, high, low, then look at these trigger bars coming through. In here, you've got the 10 EMA, 21 EMA, 50 SMA, and the 100 SMA. Volume dries up really nicely, and then the stock powers out. 1980, nice VCP in here, so contraction 1, high, low, bouncing off the 50, then look at these trigger bars coming through, volume dries up, really nice to see. So these are the patterns you're training your eyes to see, and then you're trying to create those asymmetric risk versus reward trades, and then so you're trying to identify, control, mitigate, and then optimize those trades. So 4 parts of trading I think are most important. Nice cup and handle down here, see how price gets really tight, multiple tight candlesticks, look how the volume dries up in there, really nice setup, that one. FL 84, 85, so you get some VCP action here, high lows, 52-week highs. You then get a really nice VCP base over here, so shake out to the 200, bounces, then generally starts putting in these high lows, big shake out demand tail, bounces, 10, 21, 50 SMAs there. Look how the volume dries up, and then the stock just powers out there. 1985, 86, so a collection of breakout setups here, some cup and handles, some VCPs. So see how the stock is in the context of an uptrend, 52-week highs, so the stock is a leader. See how it puts in these high lows, tightens up there, breaks out, then you get a Davis box, 1021 EMA, volume dries up, breaks out. Over here, VCP, 1 contraction, 2 contraction, 3 contraction, tightens up around the 1021 and 50 SMA. Over here, cup and handle type pattern, so here's the cup, then it bounces, handle, really tight day in there, inside day just above the 10 EMA, volume dries up, 52-week highs, stock is a leader. FL 1989, so a bigger base here, see how it starts putting in these higher lows from left to right, then it starts tightening up around the 1021 EMA, that is where you get the trigger bars. 1996, this is more of a Davis box in here, isn't it? Okay, powers up, RS line starts turning out, good volume coming through on the rally, then see how the volume dries up from left to right, gets really tight on the 1021 EMA in here, bit of VCP, cup and handle action, really tight on the 1021 EMA, volume dries up. Over here, larger VCP, so see how it starts building these higher lows, volatility contracts, and then over here where it sets up, 1021, 50 SMA, and also the 100 SMA, and the volume dries up nicely. 2003, so again, it's just exactly the same thing. See how you get this kind of VCP, cup and handle set up here, cup and handle in here, really tight candlesticks, 52-week highs, volume dries up. Over here, more of a VCP, contraction 1, contraction 2, tight third and final contraction. Where is price setting up? Where are these trigger bars? So really tight candlesticks coming through, 1021 EMA, volume dries up, 52-week highs, and then look how well the stock trends. 09, 2010, cup and handle. So here's the cup, here's then the handle, RS line starts improving, volume dries up in the handle, some inside days, 1021 EMAs where it's setting up, then a really nice trend that unfolds, and then your exit would be on this bar here below the 10 EMA, and then this bar here on a close below the 21 EMA. So for me, intermediate term trend follower, trying to ride that intermediate term trend to the best of my ability. FL 2015, so you get a cup and handle here, shake out to the 100, bounces, then you get this little Davis box in the handle here, really tight, look how the volume dries up, 52-week highs prior, stock is a leader. Then there's a couple of entries here, there's a low pivot within this cup, and then there's this pivot coming through this handle in here as well. FLGT 2019 and 2020, few VCPs, so see how it starts building higher lows, gets really tight into the 1021 EMA, see the 52-week highs coming through, stock is a leader. Over here as well, just nothing has changed. Starts getting really tight around the 1021.50 SMA, but see how the stock is bouncing, high lows, high lows, high lows, high lows in a developing base and or a uptrend are clearly bullish. FLGT 2020, 2021. See left to right here, high lows, high lows, high lows. See these trigger bars coming through, 1021.50 SMA in here as well, 10 EMA, 21 EMA as this little Davis box builds out. Then we have some VCP. You could look at this as one big VCP. See how we start putting in these high lows, high lows, high lows, getting really tight in there. 52-week highs, stocks a leader. FLR 2001. So a few entry points in here. There's one in here which again would have been enough to kind of mitigate the risk into this first pop if your stop loss was pretty tight in there. Pulls back down, and then you see how you get get these trigger bars after this high low on the 1021 EMA. Look how the volume dries up. 52-week high, the stock is a leader. Then you get this little cup and handle. So here's the cup, here's the handle. See how you go tight, 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 pulling into the 10 EMA, volume dries up. 52-week highs, really good volume on the preceding rally or rallies as well. FLR 2003, so VCP type action here. RS line is trending up into the breakout. So the stock bottoms here in October, starts rallying, so that we can see that RS line turning up, really good to see. Then it generally starts putting in these higher lows. Look where these trigger bars are coming through, tight, tight, tight. Really nice setup in there for a VCP. FLR again, 04, 05. So my favorite setup is probably this one over here as this base really builds out. 52-week highs, nice preceding rally as well. See how it builds these structural higher lows. Then see how tight the stock gets in here. Volume dries up. Inside days coming through. 10, 21, 50 and the 100 SMA. Go on to the next one. This is FLR in 2005, 2006. So you get this really large base that builds out. Now there were some other entry points such as this one in here, where again you would have had enough room there to mitigate the risk, so free roll the trade, but you then would have been subsequently stopped out most likely. And then it starts building over here, high lows, high lows, high lows. Volume dries up, 52-week highs. The stock is a leader. And although this is kind of a Wyckoff point, although there was a negative reaction to the earnings coming through, see how the stock actually builds a structural high low. That there is bullish, indicates there is demand present. FLR, this one's really nice to illustrate the trigger bar points. So the stock starts building high lows, finds support on the 21 EMA, nice shakeout, and then do you see how you just get these multiple tight candlesticks coming through in here? The volume dries up really nicely as well. That is fantastic to see. FLR in 2010-11, so the stock powers out of a base in here. So you see how it's building this base, but kind of VCP cup and handle type action, positive reaction to the earnings. 52-week highs are coming through, stock is a leader, and then see how tight it gets in here, inside day into the 10 EMA, volume just dries up. Really nice flag type setup there. FLR in 2017. So you see how we set up this kind of VCP cup and handle. There's kind of one contraction there, but it gets really tight. 1021 EMA, volume dries up. Then it starts powering out. Positive reaction to the earnings. Good good volume. Pulls into the 21 EMA, bounces, pulls back down into the 10 EMA. Really tight in there. See how the volume just dries up as well, indicating very little supplies coming to the market. And then you're trying to ride that trend. See how this stock just trends. And then the exit is here on a close below the 10 EMA and then the 21 EMA as well. And this one here, I'll finish off with this one because then we have done 50 stocks in this video. This is FLS from 1972 to 1981. So it didn't have the candlesticks here on TradingView, but you can see just from the lines these kind of setups. So see in here, this is in 75, 76. Stock is in the context of an uptrend, 52-week highs. And then see how it starts putting in high, low, high, low, high, low for a low pivot in there. Over here as well, a little kind of Davis box building in there. Really nice cup and handle in here. So see how it pulls down, then starts bouncing. High lows, high lows. Look how the volatility dries up. Look how the volume dries up. 52-week highs, so stock is a leader. Then a bigger base forms in here. Okay, you see how you get this kind of shakeout here, then it powers up, reclaims these key moving averages. Look how the volume just dries up in there as well, and then the stock powers out. So that's it, guys. I'll wrap it up there. That was 50 breakout setups, looking mainly at cup and handles, VCPs, flags, and Davis boxes. If you enjoyed that video, please do like the video. It really helps me grow the channel. Subscribe if you're new here, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, then please do comment down below so I know I'm not wasting my time with these videos. Thank you very much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.